One video, 23 million views. And two nuclear-armed nations scrambling fighter jets. What happens when a camera pointed at the wrong place at the wrong time becomes the match that nearly ignites a war? In February 2019, a Pakistani YouTuber named Nadu Ali crossed an invisible line that governments spend billions protecting. He was filming a prank video near the Wagah border, the most famous and most watched crossing between India and Pakistan, two countries that have fought 4 wars since 1947. His channel, P4 Parkow, had built an audience of over 3 million subscribers with street interviews and light-hearted social experiments across Pakistan. What he didn't realize was that his camera had captured something in the background, something that intelligence agencies on both sides would spend the next 72 hours trying to verify, deny, and weaponize. In the age of viral content, the gap between upload and international incident had shrunk to less than 6 hours. Nadu Ali arrived at the Wagah border complex around 4 p.m. on February 14, 2019, Valentine's Day. He was planning to film a segment asking people about love and relationships against the backdrop of the famous flag-lowering ceremony that happens every evening. Thousands of tourists gather daily to watch Indian and Pakistani soldiers perform an elaborate, choreographed rivalry ritual at sunset. It's theater. It's nationalism. It's also one of the few places where ordinary citizens from both countries can see each other across the fence. Ali set up his camera on the Pakistani side, about 200 meters from the main gate. For the first 40 minutes, everything was routine. He interviewed couples. He asked soldiers for permission to film. He captured the sunset. The ceremony went off as it does every single day, with high kicks and aggressive handshakes and flags being lowered in perfect synchronization. But at approximately 5:03 p.m., during a wide establishing shot of the border infrastructure, his camera panned across a restricted military zone to the east. In the background, barely visible through the haze, was what appeared to be unusual vehicle movement on the Indian side. The footage showed a convoy of trucks near a forward operating base, moving in a direction that military analysts would later describe as pre-positioning behavior. Ali uploaded the video to YouTube at 11:47 p.m. that same night. His editor had added upbeat music and cartoon sound effects. The title was in Urdu, roughly translating to Valentine's Day at the border, Love vs. Hate. By 3 a.m., it had 40,000 views. By 6 a.m., it had been screen captured and shared on Twitter by a popular Indian political commentator with the caption, "Pakistan showing military buildup. Is this provocation?" Within 2 hours, the hashtag #Wagah footage was trending in both countries. At 9:15 a.m. on February 15th, Indian news channel Republic TV aired a segment titled Exclusive, Pakistan's Border Aggression Caught on Camera. The anchor claimed the footage showed proof of military mobilization. The clip played on loop. Retired generals were brought on to analyze convoy patterns. No one mentioned it came from a prank channel. No one fact-checked the timestamps or verified whether the activity was routine. By noon, Pakistan's military spokesperson tweeted a denial, calling the claims baseless Indian propaganda. But the denial itself became news, amplifying the story further. Indian channels aired the denial as confirmation. Pakistani channels accused India of fabricating a crisis. The feedback loop was accelerating. At 2:30 p.m., India's Ministry of External Affairs issued a carefully worded statement neither confirming nor denying the footage, but calling for Pakistan to exercise restraint and responsibility along the line of control. Pakistan's Foreign Office responded within 90 minutes, warning against false flag narratives designed to justify aggression. By evening, both countries had placed border security forces on heightened alert. According to later reports from military sources, Indian Air Force jets conducted unscheduled reconnaissance flights over Punjab. Pakistan scrambled F-16s in response. For approximately 4 hours, the airspace over one of the most densely populated regions on Earth was a cat-and-mouse game between combat aircraft. And Nadu Ali, the man who filmed the video, had no idea any of this was happening. He was asleep. Let's separate what we know from what was claimed. The original video exists and has been preserved by multiple fact-checking organizations. Independent analysis of the footage by the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensic Research Lab confirmed it was filmed on February 14, 2019, at the stated location, with no evidence of digital manipulation. The background activity visible in the disputed frames shows vehicles moving on an access road approximately 1.2 kilometers from the border fence. Vehicles were identified as standard Indian Army transport trucks, model Ashok Leyland Stallion, commonly used for logistics. Here's what could not be verified: whether this movement was unusual. Border military zones see vehicle traffic daily. Shift changes, supply runs, maintenance crews. Without context from previous days, it's impossible to determine if February 14th was different. The Indian Army never publicly confirmed or denied whether the convoy was part of scheduled operations. Pakistan never provided counter footage or their own analysis. What we do know is that the footage was decontextualized instantly. Within hours of going viral, it had been cropped, zoomed, slowed down, and narrated over by dozens of accounts. Some versions added ominous music. Others added fake timestamps suggesting it was filmed days earlier. A Telugu news channel in India accidentally aired a version that had been colorized and sharpened, making the vehicles appear larger and more numerous than in the original. The most dangerous mutation came from a Twitter account claiming to be a defense analyst with 18,000 followers. This account posted a thread alleging the footage showed pre-attack staging for a military incursion, citing sources in the intelligence community. The thread was retweeted over 12,000 times. The account was later revealed to be operated by a college student in Bangalore with no military background. By February 16th, Nadu Ali finally understood what he had triggered. He posted a video apology. He explained he was just filming a Valentine's Day special. He showed his full unedited footage, proving there was no agenda, no secret recording, no conspiracy. He begged people to stop using his video for propaganda. The apology video got 2 million views. The controversy kept escalating. Not everyone agreed the situation was as dangerous as reported. Some Indian commentators argued the response was justified, that any military movement near the border deserves scrutiny given the history of cross-border attacks. They pointed to the 2016 UE attack and the 2019 Pulwama bombing, both of which killed Indian soldiers and heightened tensions. In their view, citizen journalism, even accidental, serves a watchdog function. Pakistani analysts countered that the video was weaponized by Indian media to justify their own military posturing. They noted that the incident occurred just 2 weeks after a deadly bombing in Indian-administered Kashmir, and that nationalist sentiment was already inflamed. Some Pakistani commentators alleged the entire controversy was manufactured to distract from domestic issues in India. Independent observers, including researchers at the International Crisis Group, suggested both governments were guilty of opportunism. India's ruling party was weeks away from a general election. Pakistan was navigating international pressure over terrorism financing. Neither side had an incentive to de-escalate a narrative that allowed them to appear strong. The YouTuber was simply caught in the middle of a larger geopolitical performance. What remains unclear is whether military decision-makers actually believed the footage indicated a threat, or whether they were responding to public pressure fueled by media coverage. Internal communications from either military have never been made public. We don't know if analysts dismissed the video immediately or took it seriously. That gap matters, because it determines whether this was a near-miss or theater. For 72 hours, families living within 10 kilometers of the Wagah border didn't know if they should evacuate. Farmers in border villages on both sides reported hearing unusual aircraft activity at night. Parents kept children home from school. Shopkeepers in Amritsar and Lahore reported panic buying of essentials. These are communities that have lived through wars before. They know the signs. They know the sounds. And they know that when politicians and media start talking about provocations and red lines, it's their homes that become the battlefield. Nadu Ali received death threats from both sides. Indian nationalists accused him of being a spy. Pakistani extremists accused him of being careless and endangering the nation. His family went into temporary hiding. His YouTube channel was temporarily demonetized as the platform investigated whether the content violated policies around dangerous or sensitive events. For a creator whose income depended on uploads, the suspension was devastating. No shots were fired. No one was injured. But the psychological toll on border communities, on Ali's family, and on the millions who watched the news coverage believing war was imminent cannot be easily measured. Trauma doesn't require bombs. It requires fear and uncertainty sustained over days. This incident is a case study in what researchers call information disorder in high-stakes environments. Think of social media like a massive game of telephone, except everyone is shouting at once and some people are deliberately changing the message. A single video doesn't just spread, it mutates. Every share is an opportunity for reinterpretation. Every repost is a chance for someone to add their own spin, their own fear, their own agenda. In low-stakes situations, this creates funny misunderstandings. In geopolitical powder kegs, it creates crisis. Dr. Samantha Bradshaw, a researcher at the Oxford Internet Institute, has studied how viral content intersects with conflict zones. She explains that governments and media outlets are not equipped to handle the speed of viral misinformation. Verification takes hours. Virality takes minutes. By the time fact-checkers publish their findings, the false narrative has already shaped public opinion and, in some cases, policy decisions. The India-Pakistan context makes this even more volatile. Both nations have nuclear arsenals. Both have populations deeply invested in nationalist narratives. Both have media ecosystems that profit from outrage. And both have a history of actual military conflict that makes each new incident feel like it could be the one that spirals. What's terrifying is how little intention mattered. Nadu Ali wasn't a bad actor. He wasn't trying to deceive. He was making content. But in a world where context collapses instantly, where footage can be stripped of nuance and reassembled into a weapon, intention is almost irrelevant. The infrastructure itself, the algorithmic amplification, the economic incentives of engagement, the political incentives of conflict, all of it created a machine that turned a Valentine's Day video into a near-miss. This isn't just about YouTube. It's about what happens when the tools for global communication move faster than the tools for global understanding. Here's what we know for certain. A YouTuber filmed a video at a border. The video went viral. Media and political actors used it to amplify existing tensions. Both governments responded with heightened military readiness. The crisis de-escalated after 72 hours when cooler heads and back-channel diplomacy prevailed. What we don't know is how close it actually came to violence, because that information remains classified. Now let's talk about what happens next, not just in this case, but in the pattern it represents. In the immediate aftermath, both India and Pakistan quietly implemented new protocols for verifying social media content before official responses. Indian military analysts reportedly began using geolocation tools and metadata verification before taking user-generated content seriously. Pakistan's Inter-Service Public Relations Directorate started a rapid response fact-checking unit. These changes suggest both sides recognized the danger. For content creators working in sensitive regions, the incident created a chilling effect. Many Pakistani and Indian YouTubers near borders now avoid filming military or government infrastructure entirely, even in public spaces, fearing their content could be weaponized. Some have pivoted to safer genres, cooking shows, tech reviews, anything that can't accidentally trigger a diplomatic incident. Confidence level, high. The broader pattern is less optimistic. As of 2024, incidents of viral content fueling international tensions have only increased. From misleading footage during the Israel-Gaza conflict to AI-generated images during the Russia-Ukraine war, the problem has metastasized. Platforms have added context labels and fact-checking partnerships, but these are band-aids on a structural issue. There's also the question of state actors learning from this playbook. If an accidental video can cause this much chaos, what happens when a government or intelligence agency deliberately manufactures one? Deepfake technology makes this scenario not just possible but likely. Some defense analysts believe the next major conflict will begin not with troop movements but with a viral video designed to look authentic. Nadu Ali still makes videos. He returned to YouTube after a 3-month hiatus, but has never filmed near a border again. His content now focuses on urban interviews in Karachi and Islamabad, far from anything that could be misinterpreted. His February 2019 video was eventually taken down, not by YouTube, but by Ali himself. He said he couldn't stand knowing it still existed, a digital ghost haunting him. The distance between a camera and a catastrophe is shorter than we think. This story isn't an outlier. It's a warning. In a hyper-connected world where information moves faster than wisdom, where algorithms reward outrage over accuracy, and where geopolitical rivals are one misunderstanding away from miscalculation, every upload carries weight. We like to think the internet made us safer by making us more informed. But information without context, without verification, without responsibility, is just noise. And in the wrong moment, noise sounds a lot like a siren. If you want to understand how misinformation shaped another major conflict, watch our breakdown of the deepfake that fooled a president, where we trace how a single manipulated video changed the course of an election and rewrote the rules of digital warfare.